Well, I'm recording this about 5 hours before the US stock market opens on Monday. Last Thursday and Friday were terrible days for the market, and Donald Trump has given an interview on Air Force One back from Florida, and he gave no reassurance to the market whatsoever. In fact, he said the market needs to take its medicine, might have to take its medicine. We'll see exactly what he said, but really, markets are not going to like that, and futures are way down. So by the time you see this, the markets might be open. So we'll have to see what happens. Nobody knows. They could recover. He could say something. Somebody else could say something. But overnight, well, over the weekend, US time, there have been a number of markets around the world that have hit circuit breakers, going way down and, on the way to a crash, and they have a circuit breaker that stops the emotion. So we'll have to see what happens on Monday in the US, and we'll have to see what Trump says if he tries to stop it. He does not seem worried in the slightest. Here, this headline, Yahoo Finance, that happened on Sunday US time, Trump tariffs live updates. Trump digs in, says markets may have to take medicine as stock futures plunge. And I saw they're a bit down about 4 or 5% for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, down a lot. And we have this tweet here that was put out during the weekend. If tomorrow the S&P 500 falls more than 4% for the third day in a row, it'll be for the first time since the Great Depression. I mean, there are always these kinds of records that happen when the stocks plunge. We've had a few in the last few years. We had the pandemic plunge, and we had, going way back to the GFC, the global financial crisis. A lot of people wouldn't remember that, but that was pretty bad. That's my benchmark. This, the S&P 500 was down, I think 54% it went down in all. But this has also worried the markets, where Trump seemingly, he retweeted this post on Truth Social. I didn't see that. I'm not on there, but he seemed to be reposting something that says he's purposely crashing the markets. And they asked him this question on Air Force One. He did say that he wasn't trying to do that, but that's weird. It's just weird that he actually reposted something that was obviously said that. Maybe he didn't watch the video. I don't know. And here we have JP Morgan, who said Trump's tariffs to send US into a recession. So the markets and investment banks are starting to talk about the R word, recession. But Trump does not seem worried, seems confident in what he's doing. But this headline, Team Trump defends tariffs as bipartisan opposition grows. Market slide. So yes, there's people on the Trump side or Republicans, one of them being Ted Cruz, even Elon. I made a video about this on the other channel today, where Elon doesn't like the tariffs at all. He wants to not have tariffs. He wants to have free trade with Europe as self-interest for him and his companies. But a lot of people are with Elon on that. And this came out too, where from the White House not long ago on the Sunday, I think, Week 11 wins. President Trump unleashes economic prosperity. It's not looking like that at the moment, with the markets absolutely plunging. Let's see what Trump said on the way back from Mar-a-Lago, from golfing in the weekend. He did talk to world leaders during the golfing. Golf's, business is done during golf, as many golfers will know. But this is what he said about various things. Let's listen in.
Is there a Trump put, though? Is there pain in the market at some point you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put? Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so bad.
Okay, so he's talking about tariffs here, but the market participants, Wall Street, would have heard this before the market opens on Monday. Did you hear what he said there? He said sometimes the market has to take its medicine. It's already gone down into correction territory. Is it going to go down to bear market territory, which is more than 20% down? Is it going to go more than that? He really seems to either not been crashing it on purpose, but not caring, taking the medicine. He thinks it's going to be better after this, and we'll have to see.
By other countries, because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have Hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring. It's already started because I put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out and our country will be solid and strong again.
Do people believe anything about what he's saying there, that money's pouring in? It takes time for even for manufacturing and jobs to come back. Do people believe that those jobs are coming back at all from China and elsewhere? He seems to be doing this for that reason. Part of it wants manufacturing to come back, but is that actually going to happen? Do you believe that? Let me know in the comments if you think that that is actually going to happen.
Elon Musk has said he hopes for zero.
Yeah, we talk about Elon Musk, and Elon Musk said the tariffs, he didn't like the tariffs in Europe, and so Trump is responding to that.
Tariff between the U.S. and Europe. Is that a place you'd like to also get to?
Well, the problem is that Europe has made a fortune with us. You know, Europe also has had a tremendous surplus with the United States. Europe has treated us, it's a little smaller, but they've treated us very, very badly. China has, but Europe has also. Europe has been very, very bad to us. Europe has taken our leaders for a ride. They don't take our cars. They don't take our food products. They don't.
Of course, Elon's got cars being made in Germany. He's got that big factory there in Germany trying to sell cars in Europe.
Take anything. And we take their cars, Mercedes, Volkswagen, BMW. You know, we take their millions of cars. They take no cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything. Europe's treated us very badly. We put a big tariff on Europe. They are coming to the table. They want to talk, but there's no talk unless they pay us a lot of money on a yearly basis. Number one for present, but also for past, because they've taken a lot of our wealth away, and we're not going to allow it to happen.
Okay, so he didn't respond directly to what Elon said there, but really not shifting ground whatsoever. So Elon and Trump on different parts of the scale here. Elon doesn't want these tariffs in Europe, doing business in Europe with Starlink, with Tesla. So if you are getting a value out of this episode so far, I really appreciate it. If you remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people, it really does help. And we're a new channel here, starting from zero. Just a few subscribers now. Do subscribe as well, but like to help this to get more viewers just starting us off. Thanks, that would be really great. All right, we've got more of this interview here. This time, Trump is talking about deals that he made while he was golfing, I guess, or talking to world leaders. Let's listen in.
This weekend, you talked to a lot of leaders this weekend. Can you tell us, sir, were there any deals made?
I spoke to a lot of leaders, European, Asian, from all over the world. They're dying to make a deal. But I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. We're not going to do that, because to me a deficit is a loss. We're going to have surpluses, or we're at worst going to be breaking even. But China would be the worst in the group, because
China's the big one, the elephant in the room. The stock market in China's gone down too. So is he trying to do a deal here, or is it going to end up ruining the global economy?
The deficit is so big, and it's not sustainable. And you know, I was elected on this. This was one of the biggest reasons I got elected, was exactly because of this. And we're going to put tariffs, we've already put them on. It's not a question of we will. We're going to put them on. And those tariffs next year will make us $1 trillion. In addition to the $1 trillion, thousands of companies are going to relocate back into the United States. In North Carolina, already furniture people are starting to move back in Detroit and Michigan, which I won because of what I said, what I'm telling you. Car companies are starting to open up. In Indiana, a big one is under construction, as an example. Honda.
Okay, so all these things he's talking about would have happened before he became president. Remember, he hasn't been there very long. It takes a long time for manufacturing to come back. Under the Biden administration, it was already happening, the CHIPS Act, and Hyundai's doing a car plant in the US to sell electric cars, and various other companies. But this hasn't just happened this fast.
But they're moving in like nobody's ever seen this before. So it's unsustainable for us to allow China to have surpluses of $1 trillion. We will be taking in over $1 trillion over the next short period of time with the tariffs that I've already instituted. They're already in place.
Okay, so we've got one more clip here where he talks about inflation. People, they're going to ask him, is inflation going to go up because of these tariffs? Because remember, or if you don't know, tariffs are paid by people in the country. They're not paid by the companies outside. The goods come in and then the cost gets passed on to the customer. So how could prices not go up? He's not worried about inflation.
When we get into late summer, early fall, and people are doing their back-to-school shopping, do you think they'll have inflation to worry about at that point?
I think there's not going to be. I don't think inflation's going to be a big deal, because if you look at me, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. This is not new to me. I took in during my 4 years hundreds of billions of dollars from China. And we also took in a lot of money from other countries, but in particular China, because it was just getting started. And we had no inflation. Who had inflation was Biden. Biden had the worst inflation in the history of our country. I had no inflation. We had a perfect country. We had no wars. I ended them all. I defeated ISIS. Everything was good. And then when this numbskull got in, as they really call themselves now, numbskulls, but when he got in, bad things happened to our country, including our open border.
So he's talking about Biden. They're still going on about it. So that's arguing about how inflation happened. If we remember the timeline, we had COVID. Trump was in 2016 to 2020, and then there was COVID happening, and then there was a lot of stimulus. So that's what happened to inflation. That, you know, the Fed has more to do with those kinds of things. But this time, tariffs could increase inflation. We'll have to see if that happens. People will be looking for that, and the big recession word. We'll have to see if it all happens there. So what do you think of this? Do you think that what Trump was saying there has some validity? Do you agree with his tariffs? Do you think he's just crazy, unhinged, and sticking to this while the market's absolutely crashing? And we'll have to see what happens this week. Let me know in the comments. And if you've got value out of this video, do subscribe to this channel. It's a new channel. I'm going to put a subscribe button on screen so you can hit that if you want to see more of these videos. And also I'm going to put a link up there to the previous video, the first video on this channel. See that if you haven't already. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.